As we inch closer and closer to this year's Backlash in St. Louis, the concerns that I once had have kind of gone away, but there are still some concerns. But this video is not going to be about the concerns. This video is going to be what I'm excited to see from the show this year. And if you have watched my predictions video, you will know my thoughts and opinions, so I'm going to try to avoid that as best as I can. Before we get too far ahead in the video, I want to say that if you are a WWE fan, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, because that's all we post on this channel is WWE related content. So if you're a WWE fan, consider subscribing. It's free. You can always change your mind later. So the bulk of the concern that I had for this show largely had to do with the fact that Backlash and WrestleMania are so close together. I was worried that the feuds were just not gonna be up to snuff necessarily because it is just such a quick turnaround. And while some feuds have done a really good job at it, some have kind of just been thrown in there last minute. And since WrestleMania, the last 3 weeks, give or take, have felt like an entire year in terms of being a WWE fan. You had the disappointing ending to WrestleMania 41, then you had the stuff with The Rock on the Pat McAfee show, everybody started turning on The Rock and hating him, then we got the budget cuts, and the morale of WWE fans went down significantly. So it has been kind of a weird time from WrestleMania to Backlash. And especially when you take a look at last year's Backlash, where there was so much anticipation for it because it was being held in France, and the card had time to be built, and the feuds were given the proper time to really give the fans something to sink their teeth into. But again, this isn't going to be a negative video. This is about everything that I'm excited for. And the first thing that has to be on the top of my list is John Cena Randy Orton. I really want to see this feud continue after Backlash. Whether they do it back to back or they give a little bit of breathing room in between the two feuds, the build for Randy Orton and John Cena has been pretty good so far, but I think it can be better. And that's why I think when you have the likes of John Cena, Randy Orton, not just two of the biggest rivals in WWE history, but that is why I think that this feud deserves some more time to build. Obviously, we know the history between the two, and it's one of, if not the greatest feud in WWE history. It's at least a top 10 feud at the very least. So I really think that there is going to be more to this, but I'm excited to see a babyface Randy Orton taking on a heel John Cena. Now, if you know me and you have watched my videos in the past, you may have heard that Randy Orton is my all-time favorite. And while I do have a John Cena Funko Pop behind me, I also have right next to it a Randy Orton one. Now, I am a John Cena fan. He's not my second favorite, he's not my third favorite, but I don't despise John Cena. But I probably should, considering I'm a Randy Orton fan and they are such big rivals. And while I'm not expecting the match to be a 5-star classic between John Cena and Randy Orton, I really think that it could build to something larger. And I finished by saying this in the PLE preview video for Backlash, is we don't need Travis Scott in this match. Travis Scott needs to stay far away from Backlash, and for that case, The Rock can stay far away from Backlash as well. With this feud, you don't need any fancy things, you don't need any big returns, you don't need any guest appearances. It's John Cena, Randy Orton. So I'm really excited for that match and to see it all unfold, and maybe, just maybe, Randy Orton pulls it out. Again, it's not just against his greatest rival, but it's in his hometown. So I'm very excited for the crowd reaction for Randy Orton, and I'm very excited again just to see what a heel John Cena taking on a babyface Randy Orton looks like. The next thing that I am super excited to see, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. I think that this match has had probably the best feud coming into Backlash this year. It has managed to make Lyra Valkyria look like $1,000. And it is exactly what a feud with a legend like Becky Lynch and a young up-and-coming superstar like Lyra Valkyria should look like. as opposed to what we got between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. And while the match should be good, the story has been really good, and I want to see more between these two. And I think we very well could get a returning Bayley. And then you could build it into a triple threat if you really want to go down that route, which I would be all for. So that match, that feud, that build, I'm all here for it, and I want to see more of it. The last thing that I have is the Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. I think that that match should be fantastic. I think that when it's all said and done, that could be a match of the night contender. Given the star power in the ring, given how good all four guys are, it really does remind me of the Fatal 4-Way that we got at WrestleMania for the IC title. And I think this match can be just as good, if not better, than that match at WrestleMania. Now, my one big concern with this match, and I mentioned it in the predictions video, I want this to be a true Fatal 4-Way. I don't want it to be Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight and Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. I want to see a true Fatal 4-Way. So while that may be a small concern, it should not take away from the fact that this match should be fantastic to watch. So, this is where I want to hear from you guys. What are you most excited to see from this year's Backlash? And also, let me know your thoughts about this year's Backlash. Do you like it being so close to WrestleMania, or do you think they could have waited a little bit to have it and not have it a couple weeks after Mania? So as always, let me know that stuff down below in the comments. And while you're down there, swing by the description because the only link in the description is to the link tree. And that is the only link that you really need because that link will take you to all of the social medias for this channel. And I do suggest going and checking out our X page. Besides YouTube, I'm most active over on X. We do updates for Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and the PLEs. And above all else, I want the X page to be a place for wrestling fans to go and talk about wrestling. Especially if you're like me and you don't have a lot of people to talk to about wrestling. So if you are like me and you're looking for a group of wrestling fans to talk about wrestling with, swing by an upcoming episode of Monday Night Raw, or if you're going to be watching Backlash, swing by the X page and chime in on the conversations that take place as I provide updates of the show. With all that said and done, that is going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Both are free and both help out the channel a lot. And if you have made it to this point of the video, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch these videos here. As always, stay tuned for more wrestling content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.